Hey, it's Mike for Faraday Research. It's Tuesday night. We just had our long weekend here, and that was Thanksgiving weekend for us Canadians. So anyways, the last video I did, I put the pulse motor on a scope, and I was showing you guys the gating effect of the piezoelectrics. So as far as I could see, circuit-wise, this is the best, the easiest way to gate your pulse motors. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video. I want you to go get a pen and paper. I'm going to give you all the details on how to make a pulse motor work to its highest potential. Okay? So do that now. Pause the video, come back, start it up again. Okay, you got your pen and paper ready. I'm going to give you the formula of everything that you need to make a pulse motor work the best, most efficient, and give the most power possible. Okay, so let's start here. I'm going to explain this in a way that even a baby can understand it. Okay, so we'll start like this. So you got a rock, a real heavy rock. Now you got one person that's got to push this rock up a hill. Okay, it's going to take an extreme amount of energy and force for that one person to go up a hill. Now let's change the scenario. Say we got two people and one rock. Now we're going to push that rock or boulder, whatever you want to call it, up a hill. It's going to be a lot easier. We're still going to get kind of tired, but it's going to make the job a lot easier. So say we add a third person. And we push that one rock up the hill. Now it's getting quite a bit easier to push that rock up the hill. You see what I'm getting at? So what the people represents is the amount of voltage that's going into the system. Now you also need something to handle that voltage. So instead of having a small little coil, say 350 turns, and weighs maybe 100 grams or 200 grams. That's not good enough. I want you to go out and get this. The first thing on your list is a coil wound that is 2 pounds or even 1, whatever you can afford. Minimum 1 pound. If you can afford 2 pounds, get a 2-pound roll. Okay, this is going to be the size of a coil you're going to need. Okay, this one's just shy of 2 pounds, so I'll probably get another coil made and it'll be 2 pounds. Okay, everybody's playing at 12 volts. Well, why not go to 18 volts? Or how about 24 volts? Okay, I've put as high as 32.5 volts. Okay, voltage doesn't matter. You could use a lot of voltage and a very, very tiny amount of current, and you're going to get the same effects, if not better. You're going to have more speed in your motor. You're going to have a lot more power in your motor. And it's not going to draw the current. Okay? So I've been playing with about 18 volts up to 24 volts in my system. Alright? So what I'm getting at is Joseph Newman talks about the coil mass. It's got to be large. His motor that he made was 7,000 pounds, okay? And he ran it on 450 volts at about 50 milliamps. 50 milliamps. That is such a small amount of current. But he was able to move a 7,000 pound load. Not only that, he had enough mechanical power that he could turn a pump, an industrial pump, and pump 200 liters a minute. Okay? So what I'm getting at is everybody's doing it wrong. You have to have a large coil, use high voltage but very little current. So say you have 4 batteries hooked up in parallel, you got 24 volts. So say you do a current check after you get it all tuned up, you're drawing, say, 40 to 50 milliamps. Well, guess what? Those 4 batteries are only drawing 10 milliamps of current per battery. That's nothing. That means, in essence, those batteries will last for weeks, maybe months, before they would actually run out of power. So this is the basis of making a pulse motor. Not only that, when you got 24 volts, I can light up all 40 watts of those light bulbs. Now, to boot, you have to have the piezos. You must have them. It's the easiest way of gating or shorting the coil while it's in operation. For some reason, because of the quartz crystal inside, it gives some special factor to it that it's gating the coil all the way up and down the sine wave. Okay, this is where you're getting your huge amount of gains. So like I just did a test. I was running at 18 volts. I was drawing 20 to 30 milliamps. So say I had that hooked up to my capacitor bank. I would be able to run it for over 4 hours, and I did it. So this, what I'm getting at is you got to have a big coil and use a lot of voltage. Okay, instead of doing one 12-volt battery, get 4 of them, hook them up in parallel, make it 24 volts. Or sorry, 2 and 24. You could go as high as even 48 if you wanted to. Have 4 batteries hooked up in parallel, and it would draw maybe about 5, maybe 10 milliamps per battery. So that means that battery is going to last you a long, long, long time. So whatever gains you're getting out, you can take a small portion of that, feed it back into your battery, and guess what? Your motor runs forever. Forever. This is the key to it. People just didn't understand it. Everybody is stuck on using 12 volts. You don't. I would start off minimum 18 volts and even go higher than that. You know, staying at 12 volts is a waste of time. I barely even run this at 12 volts anymore. I've been running it at 18 to 24 all the time. And I'm getting way better gains. The motor will run way longer on a charge. Like with the capacitors at 18 volts. The capacitor bank I have can only go as high as 16 volts. And I had it charged at 16 volts. I had it tuned up properly. This thing ran for 4 hours. 4 hours. It's only 500 farad. Okay, 500 farad is a small fraction of what a car battery has in capacitance. So if I'm getting that amount of efficiency out of this motor, if I had 2 car batteries hooked up in parallel at 24 volts, it would probably last probably a freaking week before it would run out of power. And it would be powering 40 watts of light bulbs. Okay, if you want to run light bulbs, that's fine. I'm just using basically the lights as a ballast to kind of tell me, okay, I'm putting out this amount of voltage and power, and the ballast is basically so the thing doesn't overload itself and blow up. If you have no load on it, it'll eventually overheat and give you problems. You don't want to do that, so you have to have a ballast. The ballast is the lights. The lights is the least of my concern right now. Understanding this is the most important thing. So everybody, get away from the 12 volts. Start going to 18, 24 volts. I recommend 24 volts. That's probably a good benchmark. 2 12-volt batteries in parallel will give you 24 volts. Okay? Get a 2-pound coil wire with an iron core. Get the piezoelectric transducers. You can get them on Amazon. You can get like 20 of them for like $16. They're 30 volts, and these things draw like in the microamps. They draw next to zero amount of current, but they're making an incredible gating circuit that basically shorts the coils up and down the sine wave. You've seen it on the last video. If you want to go back to the last video and see that gating, that's what this does. Some guys are doing with transistors and all this crazy crap. And, you know, they're making the job harder than what it actually is. I hooked these up a year ago. I'm going, holy crap, what is going on here? It was one of those eureka moments where I'm saying, I think I just made a discovery. And lo and behold, it was. Because, you know, before that, I wasn't using piezos. I could barely get one light lit up. I would have to crank this thing up to like 30 volts to get 2 lights. And I'm going, I'm missing something here. So, you know, just making that tiny little discovery of adding the piezo transducers to the circuit, hook them up in series. Okay, I got here, I'll show you. I got 2 and 2. They're hooked up in series. I also got these neon lamps. They take 90 volts each to light up. When I'm running it at 24 volts, these things are bright. So that means every single one of these is taking in a minimum of 90 volts. Okay? I'm only putting in 18 to 24 volts. Whatever I choose at that time, I'll be doing the test. So that's it, you know? Big coil, 2-pounder or 1 pound. Transducers, 2. Okay? 3. Go minimum 18 volts to 24 volts. Okay, and you're going to see gains, like huge gains. Now, how I'm controlling the current is I'm using my proximity sensor here and I'm backing it off. When I push it closer to the wheel, it starts drawing more current. When I back it away, it starts drawing less current. So you have to find that sweet spot. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, bottom right corner, don't forget, subscribe. You can sign up with my Patreon. I got PayPal donate there. I'm also on Rumble. Yeah, help support me to get this information out for you guys. This video, I just gave you all my secrets to this motor, because I've seen a lot of Adams motor out there, and they don't perform anywhere minutely close to what I'm doing. Mine blows everybody's out of the water. Like, if anybody were to challenge me, I'll say, bring it on. I'll blow everybody away. The amount of gains, like, you know, I was running earlier 18.4 volts at like 30 milliamps, nothing. Okay, just, I'm going to show you. I'm going to start this up. Okay, I'm going to get it fired up. Oh, what am I doing here? Wrong direction. Why is it going the wrong direction? Huh. My coil went the wrong way. Right. Let's get her speeding up here. It's at 100 milliamps right now. It's going down. I'm going to increase the current. I'm going to push it closer. Okay, it's drawing more current, but it's speeding up. Okay, I wouldn't even focus on the lights. That's irrelevant here. I just want to prove you a point here. Okay, so it's gone down to 70 milliamps. Alright. I want to get the speed up here. I'm going to just get this coil set in the right spot. And get the RPM going. Alright. I'm already down to 50 milliamps. And get it going faster. It's going to fluctuate a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to back off slightly. Alright, so I'm maintaining my RPM. I'm using about 30 to 40 milliamps. I can back off on it a bit. Go down to 30 milliamps. My lights are still on. Yeah, I could even light more up if I wanted to. It won't be as bright, but that's a ballast. Okay, I don't even care about the lights at this point. I don't care about performance. Okay, so like 30 to 40 milliamps at 18 volts. Okay, let's step it up a notch. Let's go to 24 volts. Okay, look how bright the lights are now. Okay, 24 volts at 50 milliamps. I'm gonna back off on it now. I'm gonna back off on the timing. Look, 30 milliamps at 24 volts. 30 to 40. Okay, if you got this hooked up to a battery, this battery is going to last a very, very, very long time. 40 milliamps is nothing. You got two batteries divided by 2. That means each battery is pulling 20 milliamps. It's nothing. And the motor is going fast. Like it's about 1500 RPM right now. It's flying. Also, try to make a decent rig. Like this one I could do a lot better, but for now it's working quite well. So I got 24 volts at 40 milliamps. So you got 2 car batteries. That's 20 milliamps per battery. And I'm still pumping out the power. Like those lights are lit up. So now if you're charging something up with this, you got more than enough power to do it now. So what I'm saying is large coil, higher batteries. So go 2 batteries or even 4 batteries, go to 48 volts. Don't be afraid to go up in the voltage. 12 volts is a waste. You're wasting your time. Go up to at least 18 volts, if not higher. 24 is a good benchmark. So at 40 milliamps, 20 milliamps per battery, you got 2 batteries, that's 24 volts. This battery is going to last a long, long, long time. And that's what I'm getting at. That's what I want everybody to understand. So I hope you got something out of this. I hope I kind of explained it in the lamest terms possible to understand. So the more workers you have, it's easier to push the rock up the hill, right? More rocks is basically more batteries. And you need the engine to do it. Well, the coil is the engine. So you need a bigger coil. 350, 400 turns, that's nothing. You can't do anything with that. Go 24 gauge wire or 21 gauge wire. And at least 1 pound. If you want to go to 2 pounds, do it. Go to 2 pounds. And you're going to get way better gains and way better results and way better output. And your batteries are going to last way, way longer, because if you're only drawing 20 milliamps per battery, that is virtually no stress on the battery whatsoever, to the point where if you were to shut the motor off, any losses that were in the battery, because it's a lead acid battery, it would gain that power back. It actually recharge itself. And that's why you have to study lead acid batteries and some of their funny little anomalies that happen with the lead acid battery. Actually, they can recharge themselves under certain conditions. The other thing too is we're using negative energy in this, so there's no heat involved. Like this coil is cold. There's no heat generated. If there's no heat, there's no damage to the batteries. If you got heat on the battery's not going to last you. It's going to die. So I hope this helped. It was kind of a longer video than what I wanted to do. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. All my information's below. PayPal, Patreon. I'm also on Rumble. What else? Also got my email there. Don't forget to leave a comment or question. And please make the questions good. If you're just making a comment or whatever, don't expect me to make a story and make a huge, reply. I'll just give you a thumbs up on the board. That's about all you're going to get. If you ask a good, intelligent question, then okay, fine. You're going to get a written back answer. So, yeah, I've kind of been getting a lot of kind of flaky, comments and whatever. And I can't respond to all those. I'm only going to respond to the good responses with good, honest questions. And I'll give you my best possible answer. So, yeah. Anyways, thumbs up if you liked the video. We'll see everybody soon.